Hello everybody, I'm Gosia from Cosmic Agency, and today I have several subjects with you to share. The first one will be the shadow beings. The shadow beings, yes, not a very pleasant topic, but I have some little information about them, so I'm going to share that. And later on, talking about not such pleasant topics, I will mention what I think are toplet bombs that I think Cobra talks about. Supposed, or I say supposed because I don't know for sure, Pleiadian contactee. So I will mention that because people have asked me about that as well. And then I will mention briefly the importance of aligning yourself with the inner power to manifest a certain timeline, a positive timeline. And I will mention briefly about the negative timelines versus positive timelines and how it relates, and about catastrophic predictions that you might be seeing here and there. So that's going to be that. And then at the very, very end, I will share with you several photos, which are not really photos, they are images taken from the internet that Dor Kalel, our TAYGETAN pilot, shared with us when we were talking about what it's like on the ship. And they are quite similar, according to him, to what the ship is like inside. So that's going to be at the end. Okay, so let's go to the beginning. The shadow beings. Yes, one of our friends recently has shared an experience of seeing those shadow beings. They look like people basically, but they are just shadows of the people. And it happened at night, and that person was very scared. So we had a conversation about that with Svaru. It was some time back, few months ago, and this is what she said about the subject. They are definitely real. The 4D, the astral level, is very real. As she told us many times, it's a whole zoo out there in the astral realm, and some of these shadow beings can be actually even sent from the cabal and from the regressive races to scare you and to, they feed on your fear. But they could also be just beings who dwell in that realm, in the 4D, and come to you for whatever reason. You could have had a bad day, or whenever your frequency is a bit low, alcohol and drugs and the substances like that, and the lower frequencies, they are like a glue. They are like a glue for these parasites, because that's basically what they are. So Svaru told us that it's very important to confront them. First of all, to confront them, not to have fear. I know it's not easy sometimes in that moment not to have fear. No, I haven't had an experience like this myself ever, so maybe it's easier to say, I understand, I admit that, I acknowledge that. But at least knowing that you have the power, that you are stronger than them, and now, very important, that whatever you imagine as protection for yourself is going to be real to them. So Svaru has insisted on, for example, imagining yourself, I know, typical exercise, but it works, imagining that you are turning the inner light on, but it shines so brightly that it fills the whole room and it comes out of the windows. And just imagine that with the full power that you have, and you do have it. And with that, they go away. They simply go away. They are not able to dwell and to maintain their existence in the light. Here I asked her, what do you mean turn the light on? Metaphorically or really? Like turn the light on? And she said both. Yes, sometimes even turning the light on in a room physically might help. However, she says the metaphoric light, the inner light, that's stronger. And she says here, imagine that you turn yourself on as a being of light. You fill the room with the bright light to the extent that it even comes out the windows. And they go away with that. What you imagine, and that's the key here, you can imagine the light or whatever else you feel gives you power and protection. What you imagine is true to them. Yes, they exist. They are entities of the astral plane, discarnate. They are like pawns for stronger or larger entities. There are so many of them. It's difficult to classify them in this or that way. Some of them, like she says, could be pawns for stronger or larger entities. And others could be just discarnate beings who are just floating around. They are beings without bodies who do not yet know that they are dead. That's another category of those beings who do not yet know that they are dead. Others do know. Or others still could be astral projections of living beings, usually lizards. So lizards, reptiles, astral projecting onto that level. As she says here again, it is a whole zoo in a 4D. Most of them do nothing. They are just there, around you, and they are there, around us. Others, they will try to get lush or fear. That is their energy. They feed on fear energy. They feed on fear energy. Most are astral animals, like leeches, ticks, and other entities that stick to the aura. They drain the energy of those, and that's important as well, they drain the energy of those who are compatible to them. Remember, everything is frequency, and those beings will be drawn to you if they are a match to what you are emitting on some level. At the same time, I think it's important not to feel too guilty about yourself if you do attract those beings at one point in your life. It can happen to anybody. We all fluctuate in our frequency range. It's impossible. Well, maybe it's possible, but in 3D, it's challenging sometimes to be always high on a frequency range. So we go down and up, and they leech on to that whenever we emit something that is not over higher frequency. Remember, alcohol and drugs especially. So here she says, just as there are parasites in the body, like we have parasites in the body, they are also parasites, but parasites for your astral body. Okay, so that's that. I don't want to dwell on that too much, not to give it too much attention. Let's go on. However, the next subject is not very pleasant either, and this is about those so-called toplet bombs. Okay, I had this question from one of the subscribers who is following Cobra, and Cobra, in one of his statements, has said that those toplet bombs are one of the last obstacles which remains to be cleared before first contact, full disclosure, and event. So that person asked me if I can confirm if this is true or not. I have asked our TAYGETAN friends about Cobra a few times, and they are aware of him. However, not much information is given to me at this point about him. When I asked Kalel about those toplet bombs, he said that what that might be referring to is what they call a part of nanosatellites minefield. There is a minefield, a space minefield around the Earth, and I'm going to explain that prevents, or actually it tries to prevent the entry of the Federation ships into the Earth, and also it spies for the information. It's basically spying on the activities of the Federation ships. So he's explaining here, Kalel, it's like a minefield around the Earth for Federation ships not to be able to go into Earth. Deployed by drones shuttle. I have a name of that drone shuttle. Deployed, but I don't want to say it just in case it's secret. Deployed by drones shuttles. They are small, like the size of a sugar cube. That's very, very tiny. We do not know what else it is used for, but it is a reasonably small drone that is being used to put a chain of small nanosatellites and space mines as a vault that covers the entire planet. It's done by the cabal, by the shadow government, but superficial layer of the shadow government, as Kal-El explained. Some are sensors, others are explosive minds. They cover the entire planet, and they try to plant more. They try to install more of them all the time, because they are being swept away by the good guys. In several layers, okay, they try to plant more of them in several layers like onion around the planet at specific intervals below the Van Allen bands. Here I asked if they affect the ships, their ships. And Kal-El responds, they affect the ships because they are sensors, some optical, that are there to have a webcam view, a sort of a webcam view of the maneuvers of the ships of the Federation, especially ours that is closer. But we neutralize them with sweeps of directed energy from the large plasma cannons of our ship. Some of those things are so close to us that they are only 6 to 8 kilometers from the ship. This is only 3 to 4 times its length. And Robert, who was present in the conversation, and I think Dale was also present, asked, what would happen if one of those touched your ship? And Kal-El responds, it would not happen. Before they can get closer, the very electromagnetic layer of the ship dismantles them like a huge EMP. And even closer, the shields would not allow a real proximity. We sweep them with plasma. We destroy hundreds of thousands in a single pass. But they keep installing more. The question here is, what would happen if they fell to the surface of the Earth? They fall all the time, but they burn in the atmosphere. However, it does not surprise me that some or parts could fall to the ground, since we are talking here about several million of these things today. So again here Robert is asking, what is exactly their purpose? Well, apart from what I just said, that it is to prevent the Federation ships from entering the Earth, the purpose is to observe the operations of the Federation, anticipate movements of ships, and cause damage to these ships if possible. And it is done by the shadow superficial layer of the government. But here Robert is asking, are they damaging you? Are they causing any problem? Are there any wrecked ships? And he says, no, none has suffered any damage. We pass by and we remove them with the hull when they pass, as if they were not there. It's like a swarm of mosquitoes trying to stop a plane. Kal-El has a sense of humor. All of them have a very good sense of humor. It's like a swarm of mosquitoes trying to stop a plane. Dirtying the windshield is the most they do. Dirtying the windshield is the most they do. But what could be dangerous, and that is dangerous, yes, is the intelligence they are gathering that they might be giving to the Cabal about the maneuvers and operations of the ships of the Federation. So that's that. I'm not sure that answers the question about those toplet bombs, but that's the closest I got to that. Okay? So let's close the chapter. Now, let's just say a few words about the positive timelines versus negative timelines. I don't know exactly how it is in the English world. I'm talking about YouTube because I don't have time to follow videos. But in the Spanish channel, as I am told, there are all sorts of catastrophic predictions for our planet and for the humanity. And some of those even coming supposedly from the extraterrestrial races. Now, let's be clear about something here. It must be remembered that timelines don't work this way. There is no one specific, solid, set in stone future for the humanity or for the planet. So whatever prediction is being done, that person, that group of beings, whoever is predicting, is behind those predictions, is one, either ignorant of how timelines truly work, or two, they are projecting a catastrophic image into the collective consciousness of the humanity on purpose. And what would that agenda be? If not to, on purpose, cement that specific catastrophic timeline. Because we have to remember that whatever we are projecting and whatever we are perceiving on a global scale as individuals as well as collective, we cement as our future. So it's very important to keep that in mind when we are watching all these catastrophic predictions. It doesn't work that way. There are millions of different possibilities and alternative timelines. So, and also remember, you yourself are the individual timeline as much as you are a part of the larger collective one. So it is very important to take responsibility for what you are perceiving, for what you are allowing to enter your reality. When you are seeing one of those videos, keep that in mind, that it is not anyone on the exterior who has the power to create your future for you and for the humanity. They are only directing our energy and our focus toward a certain outcome so that can be manifested. That's the scheme here. So keep that in mind. Try, if you want to watch those videos, watch. I'm not going to say don't watch the videos, even though I don't watch them, but just keep in mind that nothing is set in stone, and you yourself are the director of your reality, and you are contributing to the creation of the collective movie with your positive focus. I'm going to finish with that, and I'm going to finish with several images that Kal-El sent. They are from the internet, but according to him, they resemble the decoration of the ship and how the ship inside looks. Okay, so there you have the images, and I will see you in the next video, as usual, of course. See you.